Hey guys, this is Eric,
And this is Don.
and this is D&E Miniature and Board Games. Don, what you got for us today?
Today we're doing Dungeon Saga. I have been waiting quite a while for this one, and I'm extremely happy that it's here. This is it on its base box. Little piece of cardboard, get out of the way.
Now, if I remember correctly, Dungeon Saga is Mantic's version of Hero Quest, right?
It's a dungeon crawl by Mantic. It's fair to say. I really love the box because it's a book.
You could actually just put it on the shelf like that without the cover.
I fully intend to. And it opens like a book. And it goes back together like a book. And inside this, you will have various rule books, reference sheets, everything that you need to play. We got to play this last weekend. Treefort got one copy in, and we had a guy buy a copy and break it open, and we got a chance to play it, and everybody liked it. I think we pre-sold about 4 more copies. Inside here, you will have dungeon furniture here, which everybody has gone crazy over. Doors.
Gotta have doors.
Some barrels.
Now, this is all base game. These aren't Kickstarter exclusives, right?
This is nothing but the base game, right?
So the base game actually comes with the doors and the furniture and barrels and everything.
Yep. And dice. Part of the mechanics is that you roll dice, your opponent rolls dice, and then you compare the 2 dice. And in the Kickstarter, I did in the comments push for 2 different colored dice, so you're welcome. That's me. I'll take credit for it. Cards. Lots of cards. I particularly like these. Open these first, it says. These are basically the cards that you play your first scenario with.
Okay.
In addition to that, if you come in here to your hard cardboard base tiles, so you have some regular ones here. Then on the other side, you see how it's in red?
Yeah.
Punch those out first and open these first. And there's your first scenarios already set to go. Real easy to start up. There's a quick start guide that gets you playing your first 2 scenarios. And by the time your first scenario will have, there's the 4 classic characters. There's a dwarf, a barbarian, a magic user, and an elven archer.
Cool.
Your first scenario will have the dwarf and the barbarian. You go through it, and basically by the end of it, you learn how to do melee. Then you have the magic user and the elf archer run through a scenario. And by then, you learn how to shoot and how to cast spells. And then your third scenario, you both show up on either sides of the dungeon, and you come together and complete your scenario. And by the time you go through all the different scenarios, you go through and you fight the necromancer at the end. And that's basically your first goals on your first couple of games is got to beat the necromancer. And there are expansions to it, which we'll get to in just a minute, various different races. Thank you. That's why we keep you around.
Yeah, I knew there was a reason I got kept around.
Mm-hmm. We'll see if we can't get you some shots of this furniture and the doors. Everybody loves. We have miniatures, and basically by the set is the color of what you have. Because you have your undead, they're kind of a bone color.
So pretty much, unlike a normal Mantic game, all the figures are pre-assembled.
Yes, these are all board game PVC plastic models. There's some pretty decent detail on them. There's your heroes. The heroes are all in blue.
Now, do you have more than 4 heroes with the expansions, or is it always the same 4 heroes?
Every expansion adds more heroes. But
Okay.
you have all your base heroes come with the base games. And
Now,
you
do the
divert out
expansion
from
heroes, do they have different characteristics?
Yes.
Okay, so they're stronger, better at certain things, and weaker at others type? Okay.
Then you also have your character monsters, which are in gray. Such as here you have the zombie troll shaman, a banshee, the necromancer himself. And basically how the game works is that it's 1 to 5 players. One player plays the necromancer and controls the game like in an Overlord, and then you have 1 to 4 players playing the other characters. There's also stuff in an expansion with some artificial intelligence cards where you can play it cooperatively against the game itself. Which
now,
I'm looking forward to trying. Haven't tried that yet.
You got the expansion already unboxed over there. Is that just the exclusives?
These are the extras and the models for the expansions.
Because I know something big and green over there.
Well, there's something big and green right there.
That's the dragon.
That's the dragon.
But they can't see the stuff that's over there behind that box.
Well, I'm getting to that. I'll just put this up.
The really sad thing is you're reboxing that, and I'm going to have to take it back out to do the close-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like making more work for you.
Yeah.
Put that over there too. Let's see here. We have here, there's also the...
You know what's irony about this?
What's that?
Is that the little catalog they put in here, it's the old Dead Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the new one's not released yet. And this is. Return of Valandor is one of the, I guess, like the little free supplements that you got in the Kickstarter. I believe this will be available at retail. This expands out the original base game.
So it gives you more quests.
More quests, all in the same theme as the original. And then you have Valandor himself, which he's like a... I think he's in the same vein as the angels that are in the Celian army from Kings of War. He's kind of large. He's a large fellow. And then you have an undead demon guy also against him. And got a nice piece of artwork.
Little print.
Kind of nice quality print.
Now, what was the initial buy-in cost on the Kickstarter? You remember?
I think about $100.
And I'm assuming that you are up around how much?
We'll not go into that.
You're not going into that.
No,
Okay.
IRS might be watching. It's a lot. It hurt.
Well, you are a completionist.
I am, and being a completionist sucks sometimes. Let's see. The Adventurer's Companion and the Dungeon Journal are both in here as well. These can really expand your game out. Most of the characters come on the little cards like I was showing you a second ago. Mm-hmm. In here, you have character sheet pads. There's actually rules for making your own characters in there as well. You can pick your race and your class and abilities and stuff like that.
Now, is this part of the stretch goals? Or did you pay for this extra?
No, I believe these were part of the stretch goals.
Okay. It's a very nice stretch goal.
It is nice.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like about Mantic, though. That, except for their Warpath, I wasn't really happy with their Warpath stretch goals. Because it's like, well, unless you buy this army, you don't get this stretch goal. Sometimes you go 4 stretch goals before you got something for the army you want to buy.
That, I mean, and you got a little bit of that in Kings of War too. That is kind of the trade-off of when you're trying to fund several different armies. And
but that's what I liked about...
You can't get something for everybody.
I know. That's what I liked about Dead Zone, though. When their stretch goal, you got it.
But to an extent, Dead Zone was kind of the same way. There were different armies that you had in there. You just...
But most of the
you were playing my role being a completionist in Dead Zone. So you have nobody to blame but yourself. And
Dead Zone cost me a lot, and so just did Warpath. I think Warpath and Dead Zone together, I'm somewhere in the range of 1,300.
Good lord, man.
Yeah, I know. It's sick.
I'm going to call the IRS on you. This here is a Kickstarter exclusive, the book box for this. This has all the different expansions thrown into one box. The expansions will be available retail separately. But this has the other 2 expansions into it with it.
And it unfolds just like the first one. I like the book system.
More
so
furniture,
lots
more cards.
So were the more furniture, were they part of Kickstarter exclusives, or were they part of the expansion?
They were part of everything. You've got some of these with everything.
The doors are quite nice too.
Mm-hmm. The furniture is nice. Everybody goes crazy for them. And then with that, you have over here, you have more of your character monsters here. More player characters.
So how many characters can you play all together? Can you have only 4, or is it several?
The game is balanced and designed around 4, but we've played enough Zombicide to know that you can always add more. It may be a little unbalanced, but you know how things go. And then we got an extra set of the models that come in the original base game.
And we have red.
We have
and green.
Orcs.
And what about the red ones? What are those?
Abyssals. This is the
So we have
time.
undead, we have abyssal, and we have orcs and a dragon. And then some characters.
These are and the dragon is his own expansion as well. These are the first time that anybody has seen Mantic's Abyssals. They are, I think, coming in retail in February in Kings of War, when you'll see the army. The
I see
backers
some
to the king.
hot water trick going on with some of these.
Oh, you always have to do the hot water trick.
Always the hot water trick.
Anybody who's ever bought anything in Bones knows that it's the hot water trick. Same thing applies. Get the water just before boiling, dip it in there, straighten it out. It's easy to do. Do it once or twice, and you'll have it down.
And by the way, you guys, if you're interested in that, Mantic does have in their YouTube videos, they have an instructional video just on doing the water trick to straighten out your figures.
I should make a video for that at some point.
We've been talking about it.
But yeah, really looking forward to these. That was one of the armies that I got from the Kings of War was the Abyssals, and the Kings of War backers probably should have theirs before the first of the year, and then I think in retail maybe early February. I think.
Now, I'm seeing one more little plastic bag over there. What's that?
This was the Kickstarter exclusive model. He is a Twilight Kin rogue, which is basically
now,
a
is he
dark
playable
elf.
with this, or is that just like for a different game they gave it to you in this one?
He is supposed to be playable with that. Now, I don't know if they have a card for him in there somewhere, or if he's one of the ones that you'll have to make your own character for.
Okay.
But he's basically a dark elf with 2 scimitars. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
And of course, we have a ton of cards.
More and more cards. The AI card should be in one of these stacks somewhere. Uncharted Dungeon. Yeah, I think this is what you use when you're playing solo to see what part of the dungeon comes up next, which I think is great. I'm really looking forward to doing a fully co-op version of the game as well. And we had a guy running for us. It doesn't look like Overlord be too bad, though. I don't know. I've never been big on the Overlord because it always makes me feel like it's like, hey, in order for me to win, I have to ruin everybody else's day.
So anyways, guys, that's the unboxing for Dungeon Saga from Mantic. We look forward to the next Dead Zone is next, and then Warpath after that.
The base game is available at retail right now. Go out to your friendly local game store and demand that they get you a copy if they don't already.
And as always, guys, you'll find us at Treefort, Fayetteville, Georgia.
Be up there. See you this weekend.
As always, guys, game on.
Game on.